welcome again. So just really quickly, my name is Jennifer Morris, and I'm a 49-year-old competitive CrossFit athlete. I've been to the CrossFit Games, and I actually, 3 years ago, was in a really rough spot. I didn't really know why, but I could not stop gaining weight and body fat specifically. And then lo and behold, I just had no brain, I had no brain power, I had no focus. And what do we do when we can't focus? We scroll on social media. And I happened to see a good friend of mine's post about him and his lovely wife just feeling really good in about a 6-week period of time. He is a fellow CrossFit gym owner, and I knew that if he was posting something, that it must be something worth seeing. So what I immediately did is contacted him and asked him what he was doing. And he told me, well, Jen, I'm drinking ketones from Prove It. And I didn't really understand what he was talking about. I didn't really know the whole story behind it, but I had literally tried everything to improve my performance, sleep better, have a better mood, have more energy, and nothing really was working. And for me personally, within about an hour, my brain turned on, and then literally, within that first week of me experiencing pure therapeutic ketones from Prove It, I actually experienced improved performance really, really rapidly. And the body fat that I had on me just started to come off as I was able to do more. So the past 3 years for me have been quite amazing. My performance, my ability to get better rest and recovery, and all the things associated with that in terms of like what happens when you actually recover as an athlete, and all of the improved power output that I was able to put out has allowed me to come back to the sport of CrossFit and be competitive again, something that I had kind of given up on. And any of you sort of over 40 athletes out there know what I'm talking about. It's really hard to kind of keep things going. And I'm just so grateful for the opportunity to be able to have this amazing product that we are able to share with people, and just take ourselves to a whole other level of performance that we never thought possible. So with that being said, I will share a little bit more with you at the end of this call. I'm going to jump over to Mr. Dustin Schaefer.
How are you? I'm actually a little chilly in Northern California, but I'm guessing it's a little chillier where you're at. But it's good to be on.
Awesome.
Awesome.
So Dustin, you're one of the leaders in Prove It, and you're also a performance coach. You have a lot of experience in this field. Do you want to give us some kind of high-level view of what we're talking about here?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you're an athlete, it could be we're literally Olympic athlete, world-class athlete, weekend warrior, we call them. You're like me and you're in your later years playing rec softball and football, or you're just a competitive fitness person. In any capacity, there's a huge component why ketones are going to be so vital for you. And so the ability to drink pure therapeutic ketones, and you're going to hear from a couple people that have amazing stories, and they're going to validate a lot of what we're going to talk about. But I'm going to keep it really simple. First off, it's a powder you mix in water. Literally, it's that simple. If you know what ketosis is, it's a pretty robust conversation. But when it comes to our product, it's a powder you put in water. It's bioidentical, which is really important. Means that you can absorb 100% of the ketones that you're consuming. Your body can utilize it. Number two, it's super readily available. It takes about 30 minutes or even less. Your body will start to uptake it as an energy source. So your body can then utilize those ketones. Number three, it tastes absolutely delicious, tastes very, very, very good. And number four, you don't have to follow a diet with it. And to be honest, some athletes shouldn't be following a strategic low carb diet. They should be utilizing carbs strategically. I know Dr. Shane Friel. Shane's going to talk about that a little bit. And so what's cool is that you can add this product to anybody's diet. As an athlete, you can add it to any capacity of diet. You might choose a different type of lifestyle. You might be transitioning to a low carb lifestyle. But what we've known now for quite a few years, really the research on this has started with the DOD and NASA. So it's not, we're talking about the elite of the elite is where the research started with all this. If I could go back in time and, back when I was a recon Marine or playing college football, I would have loved to have this tool, because the biggest benefits you're going to notice from an athletic perspective is, you think about this, is that there's a little receptor site in nearly every cell of your body for ketones. If you don't have ketones in there, that receptor site doesn't get activated. and that cell doesn't optimize. It can't work to its fullest potential. And this is why every elite athlete is going keto, right? Tom Brady, LeBron James, most of your top tennis players, almost all your elite bikers and endurance athletes, most NFL guys are looking for ways to get ketones up because of the cognitive benefits and how the brain functions. So this is super, 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 super cool. And now what I recommend for athletic performance is really simple. And the cool thing is you can just take the challenge and you can find out for yourself how well it's going to work. But about 30 to 45 minutes before your workout, you're going to drink it down and enjoy your workout. You're going to see an increase in performance or power. You're going to see an increase in overall recovery. You're going to see an increase in mental focus while you're actually performing. And then if you're really serious about your athletic career, if you're really, really, really like my career is really important to me, I always recommend taking about 2 hours later as a post-recovery. Because within our product, we don't just have ketones in there. We have bioidentical ketones. We also have fermented amino acids like leucine that are going to help with muscle repair muscle tissue. So doing it before and after is so vital, right? We have some unbelievable ingredients that synergistically work with ketones for long-term recovery and health of the human body, for improving sleep, which we know as an athlete, it's not always about how you perform, it's how you recover so you can perform again. And that's what's really cool about this technology and about what people can utilize it. It's really as simple as that. Drink it 30, 45 minutes before you work out, drink a couple hours later, enjoy, crush it. I still always tell athletes, listen to your body, learn. You don't necessarily have to change all your dietary needs, but you might notice some of your dietary needs start to adjust because your body's getting healthier than ever. And then Jen, the last thing I would say for athletes is something that you really want to think about is if you're a performer and you're performing at a high level, and if your diet isn't perfect and you're not recovering perfect, like me, I overtrained for 20 years, my career. I didn't know better. I was just crazy. But ketones protect muscle from being broken down. Basically, they're anti-catabolic. So meaning that you're going to be able to stay and maintain muscle mass if your diet isn't dialed in perfectly. It's going to help you from that overtraining component and giving your body the ability to rest and recover better. So it's actually for us that are kind of over the top doers, it's actually an insurance policy to protect you from damaging your own body, which to me is probably something now that I'm 40, I wish I would have took more serious in my 20s. But Jen, I'm going to kick it back over to you. Exciting conversation. Every single athlete in the world, performance, fitness, doesn't matter, should be drinking ketones every single day. And of course, maybe doubling up on their performance days.
Awesome. Thank you so much,
Really
Dustin.
great.
Thank you so much for explaining a little bit about the basics behind ketones. I have our next special guest on. His name is Shane Friels. And Shane is a pro bodybuilder out of Texas. Shane, are you on?
Yeah. Jen, you got me?
I got you. Awesome. Hey, Shane, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Really great. So why don't you give us a little rundown of what you've experienced with ketones?
You know, I have to say that this conversation has been one that I've actually been a part of for going on nearly 5 years, and I was very resistant to anything keto 3 years ago until all of a sudden kind of I would say a light bulb kind of went off. I had put my body in natural ketosis for a number of different years, doing natural bodybuilding and being a male 37 to 41 years old. I'm now 44 years old. I'd done very well in my natural bodybuilding competitions. So to go keto was not something I was really interested in. I didn't even really have any interest of thinking about doing a no carb kind of plan because I felt like I already had a good balance with carbohydrates. But one of the things that I really found to be exciting about this conversation was the fact that I didn't have to completely cut out all my carbohydrates in order to go into ketosis. I actually could put bioidentical ketones in my body. And after seeing what I experienced doing, shows and really, I would say suffer, to be honest with you, because I lost about 30 to 40% of my strength. My endurance went down by 30 to 40%. It was really, really hard the last 6 weeks before I went on stage. And I really felt if a guy kind of understands this terminology, it's not something you ever want to experience, but I felt flat. And feeling flat means you just don't feel like you have a pump while you're in the gym. So when I actually started drinking ketones and I got to try to see what this was all about and really kind of be more engaged in the conversation and the experience and seeing what it could do for me, I got to say it was a game changer. All the things that I just listed that I experienced in a natural state of ketosis, actually, I did not experience at all, even though I had cut out all my carbs and sugars while I was drinking ketones. It actually made me feel like I was still eating 150 to 200 grams of carbs. I mean, that was an overnight success for me personally, because I had already been there, done that, knew what it was like, already had the experience multiple times, and to not have that experience again, to not be suffering, to not be going, okay, I'm going to be losing my strength. Nope, I'm not. I'm still using all the same weights. I'm still pushing all the same weights. I'm still feeling like I got a pump in the gym. I'm still feeling full. Like, I mean, it was amazing to see what my body was actually experiencing, even though I was doing everything I was doing before. I just had started drinking ketones. Like, that was crazy to me. It almost was like too good to be true in a way, but it was actually the reality that I actually got to test my blood, and I saw, well, yeah, I'm actually in ketosis. I have a very high level of ketones in my blood. I'm not eating my carbs and sugars, and I'm still maintaining my strength, my endurance, my overall muscle bellies are full. I've got everything about that was phenomenal to me, even to the point that I went and did my show doing strictly drinking ketones, and I just blew the show away. I mean, like, I won all my categories. I won the overall. I mean, for me to experience that was like a game changer, and why I have been such a big advocate of helping people understand how to not worry about cutting out carbs, but more about how to develop a healthy relationship with food. And I think that's what everybody can really relate to. When you understand that ketones give you the ability to develop a healthy relationship with food, I really started intermittent fasting and seeing what that was all about, and understanding how that really gave me an opportunity to find out where my relationship with food is. When you don't eat, and you think that the old terminology is you're going to lose muscle, or you're going to eat your muscle, or you're going to lose strength, was actually the opposite for me when I was able to drink ketones. So there's so many different benefits that I experienced and I continue to experience. And I'm even a dad, and I got 4 teenagers. I mean, my life is busy. Life is just busy all the way around. Ketones actually not only saved me money, but they made life easier, and they increased my performance. I'm not aging in as far as aging going, the opposite direction. I'm actually aging in reverse, because the older I get, the younger I feel, the stronger I feel, and everything just about my overall experience has been one that I would have to say everybody's got to try it before you knock it, right? I think that's the most important thing for everybody to understand. Our 10-day challenge really gives you the ability to understand what this is really all about, and just to have an experience, because the experience is what I call the game changer. You know yourself better than anybody else. And when you can understand your relationship with food, and you can understand how to develop a healthy relationship with food, now ketones benefits you by doing that. I got to say, this is not a fad. This is not a lifestyle, or it's not a 30-day, 60-day, 90-day plan. It's a 3-year goal of me to just say, I'm continuing to improve, and I will continue to do this for the rest of my life, because I'm in a better place than I've ever been at 44 years old than I've ever been in my life. So this is just me all day, every day. And I drink multiple servings of ketones and still have a great relationship with food. So thank you for having me on, Jen.
Yeah, thank you, Shane.
Love you as well, buddy.
I'm going to jump right over to our next guest. Her name is Pri Lima. And Pri is a former FIVB volleyball player for Brazil. And she currently plays pro beach volleyball in the United States. Pri, are you on? I know you're calling in from your phone. If you hit *6, you will be able to unmute.
Hi.
Hi, Pri.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Oh, hey guys. Thanks for having me. Well, as you guys were saying, like, ketones have been like imperative for me coming back. I actually retired back in 2013, and I was like, I'm going to come back. And Alex was in his weight loss journey. I was like, you know what? First of all, yes, I do need to lose some weight and shed some fat, but I had some nagging injuries because I coach full time. So I actually train more than any professional, like staying on my leg and making volleyball movements here and there. And I could not get rid of my nagging injuries because I could not recover enough. No sleep, standing on my legs all day long, coaching multiple sessions. Once I started drinking ketones, it was incredible because I have one of the greatest team of doctors that I've been seeing them for over nearly 2 decades. And I even have like tear on my shoulder that I haven't needed surgery because they're so great and they keep me healthy playing and coaching, that we couldn't figure it out what was going to make my hamstrings actually feel better. And it was when I started drinking ketones, I was able to get rid of toxins and just being able to recover and sleep deeper and better according to my, I wear a Whoop, which tracks your sleep disturbances, the quality of the sleep and all that stuff. So it has been game changer for me. And then just like Shane was mentioning, I was like, well, I play, in the hot weather, like 100 degrees. I'm in Florida, I'm in Brazil, and I'm going on like 5 to 7 matches a day. Like I need my carbs, what we thought like, oh, I need carbs, I need this, I need that. And I don't need extra fat. It's going to make me heavy. And it wasn't until I started drinking ketones and I'm a daredevil. I was like, let me really feel this ketosis thing. So one day I said, I'm only going to bring my ketones. And at that time we had just released the electrolytes. So I said, I'm going to bring my ketones. I'm going to stay extra hydrated. I'm going to see if I can fuel my body enough to play a beach volleyball tournament in the middle of the summer in Florida. I kid you not, I had nothing to eat, maybe a handful of cashews. Like I'll say lunch, I'm going to try to put something in my stomach to retain some of my energy, right? And I had nothing but ketones, and I played amazing. I didn't run out of energy. I was explosive the whole time. And obviously, like if you go through a lot of sun and playing, you're going to get a little dizzy if you're either malnourished or dehydrated. And that was incredible. That's when I was like, this is here to stay. And now it's been 3, maybe 4 years that I've been drinking ketones and, meeting up with Alex and trying to share the love and the word with all my pro beach volleyball players, which I have some in the national team drinking as well. And it's been the greatest journey and the best thing for me to come back. And I ended up having a top 5 finish in the last 2 years and many wins over here in Florida in open tournaments. And I truly could not do it without my ketones. And as any athlete could relate, like we try to get the best next supplement to help us get to the next level or to maintain the level we're at. And you always kind of like get tired of them or you just stop drinking them because you just forget. You just don't feel the benefits. And just like he said, I've been on ketones 3-4 years and I can count in 2 hands how many days I've missed. That has never happened in over 20 years of my pro career and playing volleyball period. So I cannot thank enough of the Prove It family and the community and Alex to introduce me to such an amazing product that now I share every day with all my friends, family, and pro volleyball players. Thanks so much for having me, guys.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much, Pri, for being on. I know you're a busy lady at a conference or something tonight anyway, so appreciate you being on and sharing your story. Awesome. All right, so we have one more testimonial, and this is a fellow Canadian friend of mine. His name is Lee Coates, and he is an ultra long distance runner. And Lee, I will just unmute you, and we will get you on. You want to try unmuting yourself? There we go. Hey, Lee, how are you?
Hey, how's it going? Good.
Great. Do you want to let us know a little bit about what you do in your sport and explain how you found ketones and your experience?
Well, first off, hello to everyone. Thank you and welcome. My name's Lee Coates, and I'm an ultra sport long distance runner. So I like to get into the distances kind of over 50 kilometers, and that's where I guess I start to kind of warm up in my sport. About a year ago, I was all over the place. So usually in the summertime, I burn a lot of the muscle off or are flip-flopping with diets and nutrition, trying to find out what's going to recover, what would work. And I started to play around with intermittent fasting and started to notice immediate return straight away. And then I started to see Jen and her posts, and I got told about the 60-hour reboot kit. And I thought, okay, I'll take a chance on this. And after that 60 hours, there was a level of confidence coming out of that, knowing that I discovered something. And at first it was just all these little things, but over time they started to add up big. So I decided I'll take the chance. I'll put this into my plan. I'll drink 1 or 2 ketones a day, and I'll see what will work. And probably one of the biggest things I started to notice first was my recovery, just coming out ready for the next day, feeling rested. So my goal was to get to this 24-hour race in about 8 months, and it was to get there injury-free. So running all the miles each week, working out in the gym, working at a gym full-time. There was lots of opportunities for me to slip up or make a few of those mistakes. And I noticed straight away with the ketones, my mental state was just dialed in. It almost felt like cheating in a sense, like I was just so in tune when I would go for a run, so in tune when I would go to the gym, and then so in tune just everything with everything else in my life. And I believe that's what was one of the big keys for me getting to the start line injury-free, not making those mistakes on those long distance runs late in the training week, not making little mistakes in the gym where those injuries would pop up. So I attested a lot of that to having that mental clarity and that freshness in my recovery coming back each and every day. And then come race days, I would show up and I put it in there. It was funny just hearing one of the other testimonies there about heat. One of my races I showed up to, the heat was through the roof and people were dropping like flies. I was carrying a 200 milliliter bottle of ketones and a 200 milliliter bottle of water. And it was not a problem. It was not an issue. So again, that level of confidence to check that off my list of things to not worry about come race day, come game day. So just playing into that is a big, big part. So like I said, one of my biggest things, like I said, is just that mental, being able to find a product or to find a tool in your sport or in your trade that gives you just so much confidence that you can kind of not back shelf it, but you can just put it in that automated lane or that automated spot where you know it's not going to give you any big issues or it's not going to flip you up. But then in return, it's giving me benefits. After my races, I like to recover some calories to get those back in there. And because of intermittent fasting, because of a low carb diet, I'll take that as an opportunity to kind of indulge. Staying on my ketones keeps me still sharp, even when I'm taking that time to kind of recover after those big events or kind of cheat, I guess, in a sense, the way I kind of describe it. Having those ketones still there keeps me focused, keeps me ready and active. So when that next goal, that next thing comes up, like what Dustin was saying, it helps eliminate some of that nutrition guilt that we get from society when we're following a plan. Life builds up, life kind of comes in, and we make a mistake or we kind of get off the rail, and then that guilt comes in. Having those ketones, there was no guilt. It was because I was on par. I was back in my place. I was back fine-tuned and feeling good and ready to go. So, and probably another thing I have to say just before I leave you here is just, I wasn't sick. Since I've been taking my ketones, I don't know what it is. Well, I know what it is. It's my ketones. It just not getting bunged down with those silly little illnesses of those colds or those things. It's helped keep my immune system just firing while also taxing it sometimes with the heavy training. Before, I would be open to getting those little bugs, those little sniffles from my children or friends and family because I'm pushing my body so hard. Not this year, not since the ketones. So like I said, it's in the books, it's in the bag, it goes with me everywhere. Show up at the trailhead with those little 200 milliliter flasks and off we go. So thank you.
I love it. Awesome. Thank you so much, Lee. I can attest as well to the not being sick part. I have not been sick, knock on wood, in 3 years since drinking ketones. It's incredible, while everybody else around me is suffering from the common cold. So, guys, in closing, I'd like to say, you know, personally, and I want to circle back around here. Personally, for me, you know, I'm a competitor, but I'm also a coach, and you know, I love to help people, and I love to, you know, make sure I really do my best by the people I work with. And, you know, as a coach and as an athlete, you know that your reputation is everything, right? I mean, this is my way of life, and this is my livelihood. And I really, early on, realized the value of ketones as a tool in helping more people perform better at anything they were doing, whether they were recreational or professional or anywhere in between. The Priva community, to me, and its mission of basically helping others to be better and to lead their best lives really resonated with me to my core. And it really aligns with my values as somebody who wants to help as many people as possible. It's my biggest joy to see somebody go from A to B. And if I can get them there faster, in a more efficient way, in a healthier way, to me, that is like such a gratifying feeling. And it's really what I live for. It's my passion to help others. So I want to leave you with a thought that, you know, if this was interesting to you, if you feel like you want to participate in this conversation in a bigger way and be compensated accordingly, there is an opportunity here for you. So I would just say circle back around with the person who linked you into this call, and just make sure that you talk to them, have a conversation with them. Do yourself a favor, if you have not started drinking ketones, we have an amazing 10-day challenge, drinking 2 servings of Keto Nat per day. It's a wonderful way to get in and a way to start your journey with ketones. As you can hear, we have multiple people who have been drinking ketones for various lengths of time, and all of the benefits are you know, positive. So one last thing, I'm just going to circle back to the disclaimer that I said at the beginning, just because I have to say that from a compliance standpoint. I'm going to read this really fast again. The testimonials reflect the real life experiences of customers who use our product. However, individual results may vary. We do not claim, nor should you assume that any individual experiences recounted are typical. Testimonies are not necessarily what anyone else using our product may experience. And I'm an independent promoter. So with that being said, guys, please get back in touch with the person who linked you into this call. I appreciate your time here tonight. If you have any technical questions or anything like that, we have tons of resources for you. Proveit.tv would be a great place to start. And if there's anything we can do ever, please reach out. Thank you so much for your time, everybody. Have a great evening. Jennifer Morris signing out.